My name is Neoshi Green-Kebreau, and I am a clinical and transpersonal hypnotherapist. Yes, today we'll be visiting two past lives, the life in between lives, and 5, 10, and 20 years into the future. The lives you see today will be always something significant to the life that you're living today. So I promise you, it won't be anything that you're expecting to see. It won't be anything that if you could make up a past life, you would not make up what you're about to experience. I can promise you that.
Beginning your process with entering deep hypnosis. And 5, wide awake back to your full and regular waking consciousness. Welcome back. Who wants to share first?
This session was deep, first off. Thank you so much, but I was not expecting this at all. The very first life, I thought that I hadn't even gone under because I wasn't a person. It wasn't even a life. It was the beginning. It was all black. And I'm just looking around. And again, it was all black until I realized I was in the beginning of creation. And I was put in a box. And the box that I was put in was an invisible box. This was confirmation. All of this was confirmation for me because I had some idea of who I was, who I am. I am part of the I am. I am a healer. I am back to heal and to show who I truly am. This was powerful. This was very powerful, and I thank you.
I don't remember much of nothing. So I think I probably need to do a one-on-one where you talking to me and then you get it. Because I have some flashes, some weird moment where I was a bird and a lizard. Another experience where I was some guy who was killed instantaneously in a car crash at 58. I was the lady with a husband standing kind of over the ball, looking down at everybody dancing. And then I guess the last one was dancing in the clouds or water.
But then I kept seeing like a bird that was either like a hawk or eagle that was like flying in front of me. First, I just started hearing like beach waves, or I started hearing, it was almost like I can hear my own blood in my body or my veins through my ears. It was like I can hear my internal organs. And then all of a sudden, it was like I was in a period where there was it almost looked like Aladdin, but I knew I was in Africa. It wasn't like a Middle Eastern place. It was in Africa. And I was a healer. I was a young girl and I was a healer. And I know I wasn't a witch. Like I wasn't anything witchy. We were more people that was like connected to some type of source. I was mixing powders and healing people. And I had like a garden, a beautiful garden in the back, but it looked Middle Eastern, but I knew I was in Africa. My name started with the M, and then when I died, it was like a lot of women around me, because these were the same women that when I was younger, we used to dance around a big pot. We had like these tops and the skirts, and we would dance around the fire and tops and stuff and connect with the source. And when I died, it was like I knew I had to die because the next person in line was supposed to take my place. And I could see myself dying, which was very peaceful. But I also saw a piece of me, like a light or something, go into the next young lady who was either my daughter, or she felt like she was my daughter, or either she was like a daughter to me. The second life was the one that I was like, okay, maybe I need to have a one-on-one, because with that one, I was on a beach and I had a long stick staff, but I wasn't human. I looked at more like a mer person with webbed snake skin that was kind of like bluish. And I was a part of the tribe. I was pregnant, but I had like sister wives, and some of our people was coming out of the water. We were like water people. Some people came and they captivated us, but I had some type of powers, and I made like a sound that literally almost killed everybody within a certain radius. And I was able to heal a couple people, but I was only able to like try to get to some people, heal them, and we ran into a forest. It was like really crazy. But I wind up building a spaceship after years, and we made our way to Earth. And the pregnancy was 2 twin boys that was supposed to start a whole new race. But because we were away from the water so much, we started to change in color and body features. And by the time my twin boys were born, they didn't look anything like us. And my oldest daughter, I left her to be the last of the people who actually lived on our planet, because it was like it was daytime, but when I looked out into the ocean and stuff, it was night. It looked like the universe or the night sky, but it was daytime.
But I did realize that I had some type of power to make the storm cease. I was able to do that. I lived in a place where there were like temples like around me, but I was close with my dad. He was training me to be, I guess, what he was. He was a king. I was a prince. At age 25, I was sitting on a throne and I had a staff. I was very powerful. I was very wise. People still came to me to work different types of, miracles for them. And there was a lot of people around me, but I still felt lonely. No one really had access to me, but I had, everyone was at my beck and call. And my second life, I was I was a woman, um, a healer. I also had a staff in this one. Um, I was in Ethiopia. I had on a white silk robe. I was outside, beautiful. I mean, it just felt amazing against my skin. And all the jewelry I had on was gold. I didn't like to wear shoes, so I walked around barefoot all the time. And when the scene opened, it was my husband trying to get me away from a crowd of people that I was trying to heal. I wanted to make sure that everyone was healed, and he would say we had to go. So I was traveling around healing people. And when you told me to go into the light, it's like I went into the cosmos. It wasn't a room or anything like that. I was up in the cosmos and the galaxies, and I saw my spirit guides, and it was really, really deep, really deep.
And then suddenly there's like this wormhole in the living room that takes me out onto the street that I grew up on. And suddenly I'm like looking at my childhood self. I'm also this insanely tall, like I don't, tall isn't even the appropriate word. I'm this huge, thin, green being. And I'm so large that my head is outside of Earth. So like I duck down to like look at this childlike version of myself. And then I realized that. So then you started going through this thing of like, look at yourself and what are you wearing and what's in your hair. And the childlike version of myself was almost like a rag doll that looked like me at that age. So I had like the little twists in my hair, I had the bobos. I was just like holding this doll, but I wasn't moving, I wasn't going anywhere. There was no one around. Like the streets were completely empty. It was just me in this doll of myself. And then when you said to close that scene, I went to somewhere that wasn't Earth, and we were on like the surface of some planet. And I'm like this, again, I'm a really tall person, but this time I'm not like as tall as the green person. But I might be like maybe like 30 feet tall or something like that. And I'm lying in what I believe to be like a mass grave because I see all of these like what looks like graves. And I'm lying there and I have this kind of like Wonder Woman type of like headband type of thing on. My hair is really long and it's kind of like kinky and it connects into the space in this like grave like space that I'm laying in. And I realize that I'm connected to a bunch of other entities that are like me. When you look up at the sky, like the sky itself is like, how when you catch a really beautiful sunset and it's all kinds of orange and pink and like it looks like that, but then you can also see the universe. Like you can see all of these different planets and like galaxies. Like it looks like the cosmos. There's all of this stuff going on. And the next thing was, I'm like, again, a really large being, but this time I'm kind of like if you could think of someone like Shrek's stature, but still like much larger. Like he's using, and I'm male, and he's using what looks like the branch of a really large tree, like a toothpick.
I'm on, this is the best way I can describe it. Like I'm on a circle deal, but I'm like a speck, and I feel real heavy and light at the same time. It was like black. There was nothing around me. It was just a empty void. But the heaviness of where I was, I felt it. Like I can feel it in my physical, but my spirit was really light. And then you told us to switch And I remember sitting in front of my counsel. They were telling me, I'm a teacher and I'm a healer and I'm a door for other people to expand. That's what I signed up for. When you told us to switch, I saw like an angel's wings that were huge. Like they were just huge, huge, huge. And I could see the council. I can see that none of them looked the same. Everybody would have their own unique look. Some were animals, some were combinations of different creatures.
It was weird going into it. I could hear you in English like you speaking now, and then it started transferring to another language, but it was still your voice. I was like, what is she doing? Why is she talking like that? It was like it was all black, but I could see little bits and pieces of the room and stuff like that. I was a man. I felt my arms the whole time. They were very hot. And then I ended up playing a video game with some other guys. I guess they were like my friends or people I thought were trustworthy. One of them got up and he went out of the room, and I felt like this really negative energy with him. And I felt a whole lot of anxiety come up. I got a quick look of his expression, a look when somebody just does not mess with you and they try to hide it from you. But it was like just complete, I would like to kill you right now, kind of feeling on his face. Then you taught us to flash to the next scene, and I saw two guys. They were running on the other side of the woods. I was running too. Both of them, I saw silhouettes of like machete style knives. And then I remember jumping off of a cliff or something. I felt my feet. It's like my feet were dangling. My toes were very cold.
For me, I had a fairly recent past life in the Vietnam War. And so I just remember just running, and then I jumped onto something, turned out to be a grenade, and then it blew up. And then I got a name, and it was Milton. Someone told me to Google it, and I did. And I put just Milton Vietnam War. I think I found my past life because I actually happened to, I think his name was Milton Oliver, something like that.